Good morning, everyone. I'm Lisa Bender. I'm the president of the Minneapolis City Council, and often before we start our official business, we have special presentations, and today's is bittersweet as we honor Lisa Cerny's years of service to the city and celebrate her moving over to Hennepin County. So if you want to come up, Director and Lisa, and anyone else who wants to join us. That was loud. And I will turn this over to our Transportation and Public Works Chair, Councilmember Reich, to read this resolution. And then we'll say all of our things.
Yes, this is bittersweet, I think, is the term. Fortunately, our director is going just across the street, the county, so we'll have a strong partner, so that's probably the upside. But nonetheless, this is a day to forward this resolution. And it's a resolution honoring Lisa Cerny for her service and dedication to the city of Minneapolis. Whereas Lisa Cerny first entered employment in the Public Works Department in 1996 as an engineering aide and was quickly promoted to draftsman 2, then engineering analyst to engineer, professional engineer, and principal professional engineer before promotion to director of service water and sewers in 2008. And finally, her appointment to Public Works Deputy Director and City Engineer in 2016, during which time she also served several months as interim Public Works Director. And whereas Ms. Cerny carried out the significant duties and responsibilities of Public Works Deputy Director with the public's best interest always in her highest priority, balancing complex and competing interests with adept technical and political skill to find the best path forward for Minneapolis. And Ms. Cerny has established connections with Public Works employees at every level and is adeptly led on issues related to finance, regulations, infrastructure, organizational structure, staffing, and a wide array of other issues, all of which will continue to have significant positive impact on the city for many, many years to come. Whereas Ms. Cerny made improvements to the city's streets, drinking water, sewer system, and other critical services that residents, businesses, and visitors rely upon every day. And whereas Ms. Cerny supported the department through her leadership on significant projects, including the 35W Crosstown reconstruction, Target Field, combined sewer overflow permitting, stormwater utility fees, right-of-way management, and PV Plaza. And whereas Ms. Cerny, a natural leader, adept problem solver who can clearly communicate complex technical information with any audience, and whereas Ms. Cerny serves on the advisory board of the University of Minnesota Department of Civil, Environmental, and Geoengineering to support future engineers, and whereas Ms. Cerny served as a role model and mentor for staff at all levels, especially women, aspiring to leadership positions and led by example a commitment to a profession that never outweighed the love for and dedication to her family. And whereas Ms. Cerny is widely respected by a broad array of partners and stakeholders and sought out for advice on issues well beyond the duties typically under the purview of a city engineer. And whereas Ms. Cerny will be deeply missed by the city's elected officials, department heads, staff, and fellow members of the Public Works Department as a leader, professional engineer, and colleague and friend. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and City Council do hereby commend Lisa Cerny for her dedication and exemplary service to the City of Minneapolis and express their deep gratitude and appreciation for her 23-year commitment to the city. That the Mayor and City Council congratulate Lisa Cerny for her many significant accomplishments and wish her much happiness and fulfillment in her new role at Hennepin County. Thank you, Lisa. May I present this resolution to you? And I think it can't be underscored enough, though there are many significant points made, and all of them, of course, accurate and richly deserved to be proclaimed. I cannot think of Minneapolis Public Works in its current state, its effectiveness, its professionalism, its reputation, without your effort. You are, in my mind, intimately wound in the progress of this department and its service to the city of Minneapolis. Absolutely. I think I'm going to have to stop because it's just not become emotional at one of these things, for me anyways.
I always cry at these. We are going to miss you so much. And the only silver lining is how excited I think we all are for your leadership to grow and your partnership at the county. And I have been raving to everyone about the things you're going to do there, but also know that you have our full support and our true partnership as you grow into this new role and as you lead there. It's such an exciting time at the county. So I'm just thrilled for this opportunity for you. And I don't think we can thank you enough for all you have done for our city as you walk through the streets, as you turn on the tap. Your mark is there in all of it. So thank you so much.
I just really want to thank the council. I want to thank the public works staff because quite frankly, they're pretty awesome and they make this job much easier. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Three things you need to know about Lisa Cerny today and wherever she's going is one is that she is incredibly dedicated to people, the people of Minneapolis, and most importantly, the people, many of whom are in this room, the staff in Public Works. Two is that she is a natural leader because of the question why, and I cannot tell you how many times we've all heard her say, why? Or more commonly, why not? And that's the mark of a leader and a really great engineer. And three is that she is the most adaptable person that I have met. I got Lisa and Lisa got me. And that was 3 years ago. And she has shown me personally incredible support and friendship for the last years that we have worked together. And my job probably not possible for me without Lisa doing her job, especially that first year. So my deepest gratitude to you, Lisa, and a warning to anyone out there that with Lisa running Public Works at the county and Robin running Public Works at the city, there's no end to what she and I will continue to do together. And I want to congratulate you on an amazing career here.
Good morning. Again, I'm Lisa Bender, the president of the Minneapolis City Council, and I will call to order this regular meeting of our City Council for July 25th and ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Councilmember Ellison. Here. Goodman.
Present.
Johnson is absent. Palmisano.
Present.
Gordon. Here. Cano.
Here.
Wright. Here. Fletcher. Here. Jenkins. Here. Schrader. Here. Warsame. Present. Cunningham is absent. President Bender. There are 11 members present.
Thank you. Let the record reflect that we have a quorum. I'll note that Councilmember Johnson is absent today because his wife and he celebrated the birth of their first child yesterday, and everyone is happy and healthy. So we offer our congratulations to Councilmember Johnson and his family. The agenda for our meeting is before us. Do we have any amendments from council members? Seeing none, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. That carries, and the agenda is adopted. Next, we have the minutes for our July 12th meeting for acceptance. May I have a motion?
So moved.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. That carries, and those minutes are accepted. And finally, we have the referral, petitions, communications, and reports to the proper committees. May I have a motion for that?
So moved.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. That carries, and those referrals are made. The next order of business is reports from our standing committees, and the agenda shows that we have several committee meetings this cycle. We begin with the report from the Committee of the Whole presented by the Chair, the Council Vice President, Andrea Jenkins.
Thank you, Madam President. The Committee of the Whole brings forward 3 items today. Item number 1 is the approval of policy priorities as part of the Racial Equity Action Plan. Item number 2 is a confidentiality and non-disclosure agreement with Joseph Klein of the University of Minnesota. And item number 3 is a resolution approving an annual goal of 30% for the inclusion of businesses owned by persons of color and women in the city's purchasing and contracting programs. I move approval of all 3 items.
Council Vice President has moved the committee agenda. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Ellison.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Cano.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsame.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That carries and the report is adopted. Next is a report for the Economic Development and Regulatory Services Committee presented by the Chair, Councilmember Goodman.
Thank you, Madam President. The Economic Development and Regulatory Services Committee is bringing 8 items forward for approval this morning. Item 1 are the liquor license approvals, and 2 are the renewals. Item 3 are gambling license approvals, and 4 are the renewals. 5 is a rental dwelling license list of conditions. Item 5 is a grant application to deed, as well as item 7. And item 8 is an appointment to the Upper Harbor Terminal Collaborative Planning Committee. With that, I'll move items 1 through 8 for approval this morning.
Councilmember Goodman has moved the committee report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Ellison.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Cano is absent. Wright.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsame.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 10 ayes.
That carries and that report is adopted. Next is a report from the Election and Rules Committee presented by the Chair, Councilmember Ellison.
Thank you, President Bender. The Elections and Rules Committee has 2 items to bring forward today. One is a contract with the City of East Point, Michigan for elections and voter services to share Minneapolis's process for administering ranked choice voting. And 2 is Council Rule of Orders Amendment, basically passing a resolution to say that the Bicycle Advisory Committee won't require public hearings before their appointments. So with that, I will move both items for approval.
Councilmember Ellison has moved the Election and Rules report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Ellison.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Cano.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsame.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
The next report is from the Enterprise Committee given by the Chair, Councilmember Palmisano.
Thank you, Madam President. There are 2 items to come through Enterprise for your consideration this morning. The first is the social media policy, a resolution that repeals previous policies on blogs in a current social media policy from 2011 and instates a new city social media policy that will be effective January 1st of next year. Item number 2 is a Arts and Creative Economy Work Group staff direction authored by Council Members Cano and Goodman, and I move both of these for approval.
Councilmember Palmisano has moved the committee report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Ellison.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Cano.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsame.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That carries and that report is adopted. Next is a report from the Housing Policy and Development Committee presented by the Chair, Councilmember Gordon.
Thank you very much, President Bender. The Housing Policy and Development Committee is bringing forward 2 items for consideration today. The first is confirming the designation of Tracy Scott as Interim Executive Director of the Minneapolis Public Housing Authority. And the second is a resolution transferring $180,000 for the 4D Affordable Housing Incentive Program from our CPED development to the Health Department for Green Cost Share Program expenses. I will move both items.
Councilmember Gordon has moved the committee report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Ellison.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Cano.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsame.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That carries and that report is adopted. Next, we have the report from the Public Health, Environment, Civil Rights, and Engagement Committee, given by the Vice Chair, Councilmember Gordon.
Thank you very much, President Bender. There's 3 items coming from the Public Health, Environment, Civil Rights, and Engagement Committee. The first is authorizing a contract with Sumaya Hussain for the 2019 Blueprint Approved Institute. Second is accepting a small increase of $700 in reimbursement funds from the Washburn Center for Children to cover professional expenses for our Urban Scholars Program. And the final item is approving council appointments for 3 unexpired 2-year terms for the Workplace Advisory Committee. This would fill the seats for Ward 11, 7, and 4. I will move all items forward for approval.
Councilmember Gordon has moved the committee report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Ellison.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Cano.
Aye.
Wright. Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsame.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That carries, and that report is adopted. Next is the Public Safety and Emergency Management Committee, given by the Chair, Councilmember Cano.
Thank you, Madam President. And we have 2 items to bring forward to the full council. One is authorizing a contract with the John Gore Theatrical Group, Inc. for bomb detection at the Orpheum State and Pantages Theater. Item number 2 is authorizing a contract with the University of Minnesota Veterinary Medical Center for police canine health services. I'll stand for any questions and also move these items forward.
Councilmember Cano has moved the committee report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Ellison.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Cano.
Aye.
Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsame.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That carries, and that report is adopted. Next is the report from the Transportation and Public Works Committee, given by the Chair, Councilmember Reich.
Thank you, Madam President. The committee forwards 15 items today. Item 1 is the snow and ice removal from public sidewalks assessments. I'll note that we have an amendment that was passed out to all council members that lists an adjustment to those assessments for 3 properties as listed. Item 2 is the Minneapolis Stormwater Management Program and Annual Report. 3 is the land sale, a vacated portion of right-of-way adjacent to 620 Olson Memorial Highway to North Loop Campus LLC. 4 is the request for proposals of on-street parking mobile device payment system. 5 is the request for proposals for operation of a municipal solid waste transfer station. Item 6 is the contract amendment with Restoration Construction Services for the Fridley Softening Plant 2019 Masonry Project. 7 is the grant from Minnesota Pollution Control Agency for electric vehicle charging stations. 10 is the 10th Avenue Southeast River Bridge Rehabilitation Project and several items associated with that. 9 is the cooperative construction agreement with Minnesota Department of Transportation for construction of stormwater storage facility. 10 is the agreement with the Minneapolis Park and Rec Board for sidewalk construction in North Commons Park. 11 is the bid for cleaning and lining of water mains. 12 is the bid for large diameter sanitary sewer assessment. 13 is the bid for cleaning of small diameter sanitary sewer system. 14 is the bid for Ramp A expansion joint replacement project. And 15 is the bid for the 11th and Marquette Ramp Phase 1 restoration project. I move approval of all items with the amendment to number 1 as noted.
Councilmember Reich has moved the committee report. With that change, is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Ellison.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Cano.
Aye.
Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsame.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That carries, and the report is adopted. Next, we have the report from the Ways and Means Committee presented by the Chair, Councilmember Warsame.
Thank you, Madam President. The Ways and Means Committee brings 7 items for the Council's approval. Item number 1 is a legal settlement between Hannah Northrup versus City of Minneapolis. Item number 2 is a legal settlement, Brandy Zaspel versus City of Minneapolis. Item number 3 is a contract amendment with Pioneer Power, Inc. for the Minneapolis Police Department 2nd Precinct Air Handler Unit Replacement Project. Item number 4 is a contract amendment, number 3, with Adolphson and Peterson Construction for the East Side Storage and Maintenance Facility Project. Item number 5 is the second quarter 2019 donation report. Item number 6 is Integrated Mobility Innovation Demonstration Research Program Grant, letter of support. And item number 7 is the Hiawatha Maintenance Facility Campus Expansion, Procurement and Negotiations with Local Labor Organizations for Training and Recruitment Center, request for proposals for leasing of portion of Hiawatha Training Facility and report of 2018 staff direction. And this has 2 parts. 1 is authorizing procurement process, negotiation, and agreement between Public Works and local labor organizations regarding partnership and opportunities in the Hiawatha Training and Recruitment Center, including project goals, sharing of costs, and operating model. And the second item is authorizing issuance of a request for proposal for master leasing services of portions of the training facility for retail, classroom, and/or entrepreneurial space. And I move approval of all 7 items.
Councilmember Warsame has moved the committee report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Ellison.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Cano.
Aye.
Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsame.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That carries and the report is adopted. The Zoning and Planning Committee did not meet this cycle, so there's no report from that committee. So that brings us to the reports of special committees, and we do have a report from the Executive Committee given by the Vice President, Councilmember Jenkins.
Thank you, Madam President. The Executive Committee brings forward 1 item today, which is a collective bargaining agreement with the Building Trades Unit. I move referral of this item to the Ways and Means Committee.
Thank you. Council Vice President has moved the committee report. Is there any discussion? Maybe I will just briefly note and comment here that for the council members who are not on the Executive Committee, where we have myself, the Council Vice President, and the Majority and Minority Leader, Councilmembers Johnson and Gordon, I just want to highlight that in each of these discussions with contracts, we're having a pretty in-depth discussion about our race equity and gender equity hiring goals. And our staff have been working to put some language into these contracts, but I think our bigger points of leverage are really on the hiring side and working with HR in each of the departments. But I did want to just highlight that and particularly thank the Vice President for her really persistent highlighting of that important issue just every opportunity that we have. And I think even if we're bumping up against the limits of what we can do, it's still worth having the discussions and making sure that we're looking at every opportunity as a way to increase and meet our goals. We, this is a contract that, for example, out of 13 employees, we only have 1 person of color. So looking for opportunities to increase those numbers every way we can. Let's see if there's any other discussion. Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Ellison.
Aye.
Goodman.
Aye.
Palmisano.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Cano.
Aye.
Reich.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Jenkins.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Warsame.
Aye.
President Bender.
Aye.
There are 11 ayes.
That carries and that report is adopted. The next order of business is the notice of ordinance introductions, and we have notice from Councilmember Jenkins and Cunningham for introduction at the next regular meeting of the subject matter of an ordinance related to parking of overweight vehicles and commercial vehicles. Let's see if there's any questions on that notice. I don't see any, so if given that, notice is given and no further action is necessary today. The next order of business is the introduction and referral calendar. Pursuant to previous notice, Councilmember Ellison moves to introduce, give first reading to, and refer to the Economic Development and Regulatory Services Committee the subject matter of an ordinance to revise the city's building code, codified as Title V in the Minneapolis Code of Ordinances, with specific chapters listed on the agenda. Are there any questions on or discussion on this introduction? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. That carries, and the subject matter will be referred to the Economic Development and Regulatory Services Committee in the next cycle. The next order of business is resolutions, and today we have the honorary resolution for Lisa Cerny that was presented at the beginning of our meeting. So I'll move that. All in approval, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. That carries, and the resolution is adopted. And I just want to highlight again, on behalf of the council, our sincere thanks to Lisa for her years of service and our excitement about her leadership at Hennepin County. Next and finally, we have the order of announcements, and I'll see if there's any announcements from council members. Councilmember Goodman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to note the retirement of my council office associate, executive assistant secretary, Ruth Heyman Weekly, who is retiring today after 18 years in the 7th Ward office and 28 years in the city of Minneapolis. I think it's incredible that you can choose a place like the city of Minneapolis and spend your entire career here, move up, and become an expert in many different things in the city. So many of you have worked with her, had the opportunity to have her onboard your folks too. I am very appreciative to Council President Bender and her office for helping coordinate the reception that we had for her this morning, as well as everyone who had an opportunity to attend and then touch base with her. It's really, she's been in many ways like a family member to me for all of these years. And so I'm just really grateful that she's young enough to retire and go on and do a bunch of amazing things. And I just wanted to point out her retirement and publicly thank her for her work for the city of Minneapolis and urge you to touch base with her before she leaves today if you get a chance. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. And I'll just highlight, on behalf of all of us, how much we'll miss Ruth, myself. I'll really have just enjoyed how much she really beams with joy and love when she's talking about her family. And I'm excited that she gets to spend more time with her grandchildren. Councilmember Ellison.
Thank you, Madam President. And just wanted to highlight that we're about halfway through Black Business Week, and that it's been really eventful and it's been really cool. And I thank Sean Pierce from the mayor's office for really spearheading that effort, but also wanted to announce that sort of to kind of close things out, there's going to be a 3-day Northside Flow celebration happening this weekend, and just wanted to highlight that for the public and for the council, and hopefully you guys can make it over north. I know a lot of us are going to the Local Progress trip in Detroit, and so I'll be in Detroit during Flow. I think for the first time in probably like 7 years, I'll be missing Flow, which is regrettable. But I do want to let the public know, and hopefully go out there, support Northside businesses, Northside artists, and just participate. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Seeing none, that is all of our business before us. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. That carries. Thank you so much, and have a great weekend. Mr. Clerk. And so I will just note, as we're transitioning, that we do have the adjourned IGR meeting next. So the members of the IGR committee, please stay so that we can
10:30.
do that meeting at 10:30. So please leave and come back at 10:30.